Either side, and the United States, as England kick off and get this match underway. It is Mason Mount who starts things off. England in the almost all-white kit with the blue trim on the shoulders, the blue numbers on the backs, and the United States in an all darkish blue kit tonight with white numbers on the back. And the American team, just the one change, Haji Wright, the number 19, coming in up front in place of Josh Sargent, who's down on the bench, the Norwich City man. So the American team, Turner in goal, the Arsenal goalkeeper. At the back, Dest, Zimmerman, Riemann Robinson of Fulham, and then Adams of Leeds with Weston McKennie and Yunus Musa, who could have played for England, the 19-year-old, but is playing for the United States in this match. As the ball is played back to goalkeeper Turner, who looked a little awkward there. He was off balance as he was played back to him by Zimmerman, but he was able to get it away out of play on the far side. And to complete that United States lineup, Timothy Weah, who scored their first goal at this World Cup, the opening goal against Wales on the right, Christian Pulisic of Chelsea on the left, and as I say, Haji Wright taking over from Josh Sargent. And Haji Wright of Antalyaspor, he plays his football in Turkey. He's a big guy, 6'3" tall, and here he is, the ball played through to him, but it's got too much on it, and England just see it back to goalkeeper Pickford, who clears long, left-footed to the halfway line, where it's headed forward by Zimmerman, who conceded the penalty from which Gareth Bale equalised in their first match in the group. And then there is a foul for a challenge by Luke Shaw, which has resulted in Dest actually being bundled off the field. So it's a free kick on the far side. Good noise inside the ground. Rob Green, England 0, USA 0 in the second minute.
Yeah, lively atmosphere and a lively start from both sides. They're just initially eyeing each other up, but then when they saw the opponent, the moment to pounce, both sides, when they had possession, drove forwards really fast. McKennie for the United States then just saw an opportunity to go, drove through in midfield, created an opening. So England, they've got to press early. They'll get opportunities from it because the United States do leave themselves exposed at times.
Ball just being played back to his goalkeeper by Zimmerman. He's the only player in this lineup who actually plays in the United States. All of the rest of them are dotted around the world, many in Europe and many in England, of course. Familiar names that you will know. So McKennie and Musa from this midfield, they call it the MMA midfield for the United States. Both McKennie and Musa were doubtful for this match, little doubts, but both okay. And as you will gather, have both started the match. So the United States attacking down the right. They thought they'd won a throw-in, but it's England's throw level with the edge of their own penalty area. In the first half, England, as we look, are playing from left to right. So the England defending the end, where the massed ranks of the England supporters are, mainly dressed in red and white, down to the left. Throw-in to Raheem Sterling, one of the scorers in that record-breaking opening win for England at a World Cup. Sterling still inside his own half. Then it's headed forward into USA territory, and they knock the ball along the back line and then play it forward up towards Pulisic near the centre circle, who takes it back into his own half and gives it back once again to Walker Zimmerman, to his left, to Tim Ream, and it seemed was probably out of the picture for this World Cup squad, but things changed, and Ream plays it forwards down the left-hand side for Anthony Robinson, his clubmate, to take on, but the touch was heavy and it's out of play for a throw into England.
Yeah, it's interesting down this left-hand side. You've got a real battle. Saka, who's more offensive-minded. Robinson, also at left-back, offensive-minded, loves to get forward. Pulisic tends to drift inside and he'll bomb on. That creates a space for him to go on. So Kieran Trippier will have his hands full, not only initially with Pulisic, but then with Robinson coming on as well.
Shaw plays it to Sterling over on the far side, and then Sterling goes back into his own half, and it's all the way back to goalkeeper Pickford again. 47th cap tonight for Pickford. So if England continue throughout the tournament, there's every chance that he, like the man just in front of him now, Harry Maguire, will be reaching that half-century at the tournament, but that's further down the line. Harry Maguire is now the 6th man in this squad to reach 50 caps for England. There's Harry Kane, one of them, winning his 77th tonight, is bundled over. Didn't get on the score sheet in the first match, as you will know, but that means that he's still one goal away from becoming England's record scorer in tournament finals, World Cup, European Championship combined. with currently 10 level with Gary Lineker. England with the ball at the back with John Stones. Now back to Maguire. This is a much more patient approach from England tonight. There's a greater respect being shown to the opposition. They really went it around in the early stages, but this is much more cagey as Maguire in possession plays it to his right to Stones with Haji Wright closing him down. Stones puts his foot on the ball, just pops it into Bellingham, who's come deep to get it. And then here is Maguire again, who goes for the long pass, which is out of play, misplaced by Maguire. Shaw actually set off on the run, and Maguire played it behind him and out for a throw. Error from Maguire.
Yeah, interesting tactically that you're looking at England looking to slow it down. They know how quick and how impressive the United States are on the counter-attack, on the press. But the USA themselves had changed it. They were a 4-3-3 directly up against the three centre-halves of Wales. Now they've just slipped into a 4-4-2 when they don't have possession. So England biding their time at the back, waiting for the moment, but being matched up at the same time.
United States have the ball, and it's played out towards the left-hand side, where Anthony Robinson, double E for Anthony, turns and gives it back to the halfway line, and it's blocked out of play by Mason Mount for a throw-in which actually came off the American, and that's been disputed by Tyler Adams. And I think he had a case there as well, but it's given as a throw to England.
I think he's always got something to say, Tyler Adams, captain of the USA.
Yes, as we heard this morning. With Rick Edwards, very entertaining. Adams and Aronson on the bench tonight, the other Leeds United midfielder. Kane takes it forward, but there is Tim Ream at the back to head it back to his goalkeeper. Tim Ream, now 35 years old, so it's very much built, isn't it, this American side as one of young guns, but there is experience in there as well.
Well, I'm not sure he would have started. Injuries permitting him being called up into the squad and playing, and it's interesting that they do leave him so exposed at the back when they go forward, when they win the ball, because they go forward in numbers. They got 5 or 6 forward.
Yeah, Miles Robinson was the big miss at the back, the captain of Atlanta United, who tore his Achilles in May, and it was after that Tim Ream came back into the picture. Before this, he hadn't won a cap for over a year. Here's Robinson on the left-hand side for the United States, but he runs it out of play. A heavy touch, and it's a throw into England, level with the edge of their own box. England 0, United States 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and as I hope you've picked up by now, all of the matches, every single one, there will be coverage when they're being played on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. So wherever you are, whatever time, you can take the World Cup with you on BBC Sounds. England playing the ball out to Luke Shaw on the left-hand side, but they check back into their own half, and Sterling goes all the way back to Maguire again.
When England have a throw-in, every single United States player is in that half of the pitch, and I mean left to right rather than front and forward to back, so the switch is on.
Maguire turning it over to the far side. Mason Mount has dropped out there. Shaw is there as well. He plays it in field. Shaw having to battle for it back, but he does win it back, and now England go from left over here to right. Declan Rice with the initial pass, and then forward from Trippier, and Robinson back in a defensive position is there to head that out of play. England 0, United States 0. It did feel different yesterday when I was in the media conference, the official FIFA media conference before the match, as England take the throw, and here's Jude Bellingham with it on the right-hand side, and I'm just wondering whether he might have hurt himself, because it just bounced away from him. He miscontrolled it, and the challenge came in on him from Haji Wright, but they're okay. They are both back on their feet. Just the way he reacted there, Bellingham, just was a little worry, wasn't it?
It was a clumsy touch, and the ball got stuck away from him.
Oh, nice ball from Trippier to Bellingham, and Bellingham now running at the defence and giving it to Saka, and then back across to Kane, whose shot takes a deflection off Zimmerman and wide of the foot of the post, and that looked for all the world as though Harry Kane was about to score his first goal of this World Cup. Corner.
That is how you get through a press. Fast, one-touch football, brilliant attacking football down the right-hand side. It was in exactly the same spot that he gave away the penalty against Wales. A brilliant block, last ditch. Harry Kane in front of goal. You put your house on him to put it away. Great block.
Super block. And so it is a corner from the right-hand side. Need to give Trippier credit for that. We'll come back to that. But this is the first set piece England have got. Remember all the talk since Monday about defending and attacking set pieces. Trippier plays it in. It is Stones who got his head to it, and the ball bounces to the far side. It's kept in by Maguire, and Maguire now into the penalty area, and still Maguire, and he's losing it, and eventually it is cleared away out of the penalty area. Harry Maguire, as he made his way into the penalty area, it was a case of, is he going to lose balance? Is he going to fall over? No, is he going to get a shot? And in the end, changing the ball from foot to foot. It wasn't exactly Cristiano Ronaldo, but it ended up with a shot of Mason Mount. And it is a goal kick. It was over the top of the crossbar by a distance, and the referee is just coming across it to say to Harry Kane that he needs to be outside of the penalty area.
I was just about to say it was Neymar-esque. It was brilliant feat initially. Was never in fully control over it.
Now that would be fair to say, Rob. He was never fully in control.
There was a bit of jeopardy in the situation.
Mr. Maguire, were you ever fully in control of the ball? I have to confess I was not.
He was in, though.
Yes, yeah. So England 0, United States 0. And suddenly England have upped it there in the last, 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, they've been biding their time at the back and just trying to find a way, and you see the set moves that they have. When the ball comes out to Trippier, Saka moves in off the line, and it's been met, and they're just teeing it up for the right opportunity. That was the right opportunity, and they got it down to a tee.
So England with the ball deep inside their own half again. Stones playing it across to Maguire. So it's back to as you were just before that flurry from England. But it was a terrific little pass from Kieran Trippier that suddenly, it's like flicking a switch from that pass from Trippier that started the attack that led to the Kane shot that was deflected wide.
The difficulty with this press from USA is when you do get it wrong, that you are so open, because it just doesn't take much to get it wrong. Half a step, half a yard, a curved run in the wrong direction, just these fine details. You get them wrong, the quality of the opposition will find you out.
England with it still on the far side in the central third of the field, and low ball played in from the left flank by Sterling. Kane tried to play with the outside of his boot to Saka, who set up that opportunity for Harry Kane with his ball from the right-hand side. It's played forward on the halfway line by Trippier. Bounces away. Bellingham just takes charge in front of Bukayo Saka. Saka bounced off his teammate there. Bellingham was looking to drive it on, having opened his account for England the other evening.
Looking now, America with the ball, all of a sudden just looking to get a breather and giving it away as well.
Yeah, it's come back to them. Sterling immediately plays it to the left-hand side. Mount gets it under control, an awkward bouncing ball, a sort of trademark style of his as he takes it down in his stride. Bellingham now to the right-hand side. Trippier, still 0-0 if you've just joined us on 5 Live. For the final match of today, the fourth commentary out of the 4. Out to the left-hand side for England, Shaw with Mount there, back it comes to Rice. England now dominating possession, and now they're passing the ball from left to right inside the USA half. Stones to Bellingham, and now to Trippier on the right-hand side. Saka's got space in the box, plays it across with a deflection, defenders in there. McKennie it was coming back, he was able to head it away in front of Harry Kane, and USA clear.
Yeah, another really important block, and that time it's Tyler Adams just stepping out at the wrong time.
This time Shaw on the left-hand side. Shaw, feels like England are inching themselves further and further forward. Now with the ball just forward of the centre circle. Trippier lifts it again for Saka. That's another good ball from the Newcastle United man to Saka of Arsenal, the Premier League leaders. Trippier then plays it into the box. It takes a deflection, but Turner should come and pick that up. So Matt Turner, one of Bukayo Saka's teammates, of course, but second choice at Arsenal, first choice for the United States, and first choice for Arsenal is sitting on the bench for England.
The irony of goalkeeping and the real quality that England have in the goalkeeping department now, but grateful for the breather there. USA, just a moment, looking, and we started off last game down the left-hand side, was opening up Iran. This time down the right, the combinations, they're working.
England 0, USA 0 in this match. But if England are able to win it, then they would confirm their place in the next round of this World Cup, and probably as group winners because of that qualification criteria I was telling you about, but it would not be confirmed just yet. But still 0-0. Rice couldn't get a touch on that. It bounces away to Ware on the right-hand side, son of the great George. Ball bounces back to Harry Maguire, and he passes it forward to Harry Kane. And now Saka near the centre circle, back to Bellingham. Bellingham to the left-hand side, and Shaw is there and just plays it at close quarters to Declan Rice. And England will start again. England absolutely dominating the possession. It's only down on our screen as 58%. It feels like at least 10% more than that. Saka to Shaw, and then into the penalty area to Sterling. Sterling then back to Luke Shaw. The two of them just outside the left corner of the penalty area. Right-footed ball into the penalty area, but straight through to goalkeeper Turner. All in orange, who's able to scoop it up and underarm it out. And Anthony Robinson is able to bring it forward for the USA and give it to the left-hand side. And now it is Pulisic of Chelsea. Pulisic beginning to cut in from the left and uses his right foot to find McKennie with the red, white and blue stripe on his hair, and in comes the cross, and the header is wide from 10 yards out. There's a defender with him, and he steered it wide of the near post by 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, thrives on crosses right up front for the USA. There was an opportunity there for Pulisic to swing it in when it was 1v1 with Maguire, and he had a yard of space at the far post. And that was the opportunity. By the time the ball got cycled out to the right-hand side, England were better set. The ball was short of the near post. A really difficult header to purchase the angle, to get any power. Chance really missed there for America.
Producer Gary's just found another source that suggests that England's possession is 65.2%.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah, it sounds more like it. So that's 65.2. The one which is presumably FIFA approved says 58%, which, as I always say with these things, Rob, it depends on the human who's putting that information in there.
Well,
but sometimes people think, well, it's written down, it must be right.
Small detail, but it's the possession control.
Possession control. That's a good point, Rob. Yeah, if I'd actually read it properly, I would have spotted that. What does that mean?
There's a contested possession area as well. So we're up to 87% overall, so my math says 13% contested. Right.
So when Harry Maguire had possession but was not in control, that wouldn't count, would it, for that one?
Some might argue when Harry Maguire has it in control, full stop.
Spiky.
Not me.
England 0, USA 0. And tonight as well, winning his 50th cap tonight. Here's Pickford passing it out from the back to Stones. 17 minutes on the clock. Big chance for Harry Kane, but excellent defending actually from Zimmerman, Walker Zimmerman. He could only be playing for the United States, couldn't he? Here's Stones, again out to Maguire over there in the orange boots, who turns and gives it back to Pickford again. So Jordan Pickford, you could tell he was really frustrated to have conceded 2 goals. In fact, England were. I've spoken to Gareth Southgate a couple of times since the match, and also heard him in his conference. Every time he spoke, Gareth Southgate talked about the conceding of those 2 goals. I think the ideal scenario tonight for England, obviously, would be to win the game. I think you would absolutely love a clean sheet. The ball's played back to Stones again. And Stones, Rice makes himself available on the other side of Haji Wright. And that's a poor touch from Trippier. Tried to open his body, received the pass from Bellingham, who actually missed it, and it just skinned off his shin, out of play for a throw-in to the USA, 10 yards inside the England half. Anthony Robinson down there, Jedi as they call him, is going to take this throw, just inching forward. And then it's headed infield by Pulisic, but into the body of Maguire, who's able to control and play it up onto the chest of Harry Kane, who takes that down and waits for the challenge to come in from Tyler Adams. But Kane is strong. And now to the right-hand side, Saka. Back to Bellingham. Bellingham with a shimmy. His challenge strong and hard and good as well. And the USA have got it back. They've dispossessed Jude Bellingham, and Pulisic then finds the pass infield to Yunus Musa, who it was who won the ball back from Bellingham. That's a marker, and now it's been taken forward down the right-hand side, but it breaks down on the edge of the England penalty area. However, Musa is there, the teenager, and he'll feel good. He's not really been in the game until now. But Pulisic now, just outside the penalty area. Nice turn on the right-hand side by Weah, out to the right. Here's the cross into the England 6-yard box from Dest. But Pickford was able to smartly make ground to his right, backpedaling as well, and caught it.
Yeah, good moments for America, and 2 moments there for Serginho Dest, but really, really poor to end it off. One was the initial ball in that got cut out, and it was tried to be a cutback to no one in particular, and then the cross was even worse. It was just a floating cross to the far post that John Pickford will be pleased to get a touch with the ball and a gather. But lighter moments, better moments, exciting moments for America, just that quality letting them down.
England 0, USA 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds live from Qatar, although as I say, really we're in Al Khor tonight. And England playing with Maguire into the centre circle to Bellingham, who's just overrun that, just bounced away from him. So Pulisic receives it back in the centre circle, right-footed ball over the top. Maguire will allow that to bounce through to Pickford again, who's come out and safely holds onto the bouncing ball. 20 minutes played and it's still goalless. Here's Saka on the right, but his pass is intercepted by Ream, but then Saka is able to get there, and England have it back again inside their own half, just in front of where Greg Berhalter is standing. Berhalter, bareheaded, with his grey t-shirt on. Rice, and now back to Stones. The drum, you can hear the rhythm. There's someone dressed as a Yankee soldier, I noticed, right in the front row of the US section, the main US section, and he's got a big Civil War style drum as well with him, and that I assume is what you can hear. England with Maguire then goes back to Stones, and Stones uses Declan Rice, who just moves to the right and passes it to Trippier. Trippier takes a touch, and then England go back to Rice again. 0-0. James Maddison is here, by the way, but has not yet started training with England. But I got the impression from Gareth Southgate that there might be news on that after this game, maybe in the next couple of days, that Maddison might be able to join England training. Back it comes into central defence. Kyle Walker and Calvin Phillips on the bench again. England naming an unchanged side tonight, if you haven't heard, incidentally, for the first time since the World Cup semi-final of 4.5 years ago. Here's Mount on the right flank. Mount plays it infield, but in comes Tyler Adams to put it out of play, and Kieran Trippier will take this. Just lovely night again, temperature-wise here, even though it was sultry outside, it just feels right for football inside with the air conditioning. Yeah,
really good atmosphere, and it just feels, just watching the game and the players passing the ball and looking at the state of the pitch in the centre circle, it looks great. It also seems, judging by how the players are passing the ball, really, really hard and just slightly difficult to control. You've seen a lot of players mistouch, misplaced passes, not in terms of they've lost it and it's a horrendous pass or anything like that. It just seems a little bit harder to control and a little bit faster than they used to.
Bellingham playing it to Trippier on the right-hand side. Lovely change of feet to take it away from Robinson, but then Musa again in with a challenge. Impressive. Again, big challenge on Bellingham, now big challenge on Trippier, but England play it out to the left-hand side. Sterling's got that down nicely in the full-back position, and he's running at Dest, and he's into the penalty area, and it bounces right across the box, but is cleared away by Ream. Comes out to Declan Rice, though. Good to see that from Sterling, having a go, running at the defender.
Well, the switch was on, I said before, the switch is on, and that was a fantastic ball out to him and a wonderful touch to set him off.
England with it in the centre circle. Stones goes for a long pass, looking for Saka. He bumps into Robinson, but it is the Arsenal man who I think will struggle to keep it in. Yes, he tried to put his foot on the ball, but then slipped over, maybe on that hard surface you're talking about. Took him off the field and the ball's out for a throw.
Yeah, just a heavy touch, and it's just skipped away from him, and he just can't catch it up and skids as well. Another thing I noticed on is there's barely any shadows of the players. It is brilliant, literally brilliant from every angle here.
It is. They talk about the looks, don't they? The looks number tells you how bright it is. There's one stat we don't have. It is the United States, though, so you would expect it to be stat heavy tonight. England 0, USA 0, and Dest playing the ball back to goalkeeper Turner. Dest, who is on loan at AC Milan, Barcelona man, was making great strides, but he's one of the youngsters, 22 years old, and Pulisic is claiming that he was pulled back there by Trippier, wanted the free kick. Referee allows it to go. McKennie now taking it on towards the edge of the England penalty area, forced out wide by Rice. Here's Weah now angles it back. Tyler Adams is there. Adams to his right to Dest, and now McKennie is there as well. Pulls the ball onto his right foot. This is in the England left back position. Sterling is back defending, helping out Shaw, but it comes in to Musa on the edge of the box. He takes it on, gives it to Dest on the right hand side. Dest works it back. Weah is there on the right. Weah's ball in, and in the middle McKennie had ghosted into the box, and on the right foot that was a great chance. 8 yards out, he looked to whip it in, and he whipped it over the top.
That's a brilliant work move for a brilliant chance, and McKennie completely unmarked at the far post. Saka's no idea of where he is, and I think he just comes around a couple of bodies and skips up in front of him. That hard surface that we're talking about, catching him out there because it didn't have the control that it needed. But England couldn't get the pressure out wide, couldn't block the cross. It was well worked by America, good possession, well executed up until the finish.
Yeah, they'll feel better about it after that, the United States. That was really promising from them. That was like some of the stuff they played in the first half against Wales as the ball's out of play. I thought that might have been a foul for the challenge on Robinson by Saka, but it's not given us a free kick, it's given us a throw to England.
No, it was good composure from America, and that's what we haven't seen yet, that bit of composure on the ball. There's real moments of energy when they break and when they break through the line, but that showed control, composure, and a picking of the right ball.
England 0, United States 0. 5 Live at the World Cup here in Qatar, and Dest taking the ball down in his right back position, turning it away and winning a throw-in off Luke Shaw. United States haven't been in the greatest form in terms of results coming into the tournament, and then of course an opening draw, so that means they've won just one of their last 6 internationals, but England have won one of their last 7. There's a good win though.
Evenly matched.
Yeah. Ball bouncing in the centre circle. Might have been a little push there. There was. Well spotted by the referee, who's from Venezuela, incidentally. And it is a free kick to the United States. Good decision. The push by Trippier. It's a free kick to the USA. Yeah, his name, by the way, is Jesus Valenzuela from Venezuela.
Easy to remember. It was a good decision, but it broke then. And Robinson felt like the ball through to right in the centre-forward position. He was on the shoulder of John Stones. He felt like he was away, so maybe a fraction fortunate for England that advantage wasn't played.
England 0, USA 0. And on the subject of referees, you might have been wondering, like I was, Michael Oliver has now been given his first game, and he will referee Japan-Costa Rica on Sunday. So the first match for the Michael Oliver, Simon Bennett, Stuart Burt team, Japan-Costa Rica. USA with it on the right-hand side, carrying the ball into England territory. McKennie, who had that really glorious opportunity a few moments ago, plays it square. Pulisic uses Robinson on the left-hand side, pushing forward, as they like him to do in this team. McKennie, back to Robinson again, couple of touches, foot to foot, works it back to Musa, and he's going to have a go right-footed. It's deflected down into the ground, but it whipped through, and it sort of rose up like a jet taking off, but straight at Pickford, who was able to hold the ball into his chest.
Yeah, it's good from Declan Rice, getting out fast, getting the block, not full block, but took the sting out of it. It's a spinning ball, a fast bounce, but comfortably dealt with.
High foot from Trippier, but the ball was bouncing up, but Musa came across and had a look and deflected it out of play. Musa's really caught my eye. 19 years old, 20 later this month.
Yeah, all 3 in the centre midfield. What they're really good at is that they play with their heads up and they look for passes, but at the same time, if they wait, if England back off or hold off, they drive.
Nice little piece about Yunus Musa on the BBC Sport website at the moment. Ball played in to Mount inside the penalty area, but Dest put in the challenge and it bounces through to Turner. Yes, have a look for that on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Our colleague Alex Howell went to Valencia, his club, to speak to him. Former captain of the Arsenal youth teams, was at the Arsenal Academy, could have played for England. Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, but could have played for Ghana, could have played for Italy. Should mention as well, of course, Anthony Robinson, born in Milton Keynes, the United States left back. England dropping onto the back foot because USA are in possession. Almost half an hour played now. England 0, USA 0. both teams with one really good chance.
Looking at USA coming into the game now, looking a lot more confident on the ball, stroking it around, biding the time, much like England were at the opening section of the game. And so you'd have to say, very evenly balanced at the moment.
A flick from Pulisic, and then Musa is sent tumbling as the challenge came in. It's a combination of Bellingham and Stones, and Musa, as I say, went sort of cartwheeling away across the surface of the pitch, and he was just caught by Stones, who put his foot in on the ball. Free kick.
Yeah, a fraction late, but he also knew that he was caught out of position because he was pressing into the area in front of him, into the area of the centre-back. It's a long way back for him then. He's not going to get all the way back in.
Well, I think we can say, Rob, England are in a proper World Cup match today, after, you know, the extenuating circumstances. But I mean, Iran, with everything that was going on, they were the ideal opponents. Now, you know, looking back in hindsight, knowing what we do now, the way that the match developed, the way the players were, they were clearly affected. And certainly, having seen them play against Wales today, when, you know, it seemed as though things had really lifted off their shoulders. But for England, the perfect opening opponents. But this is the real thing. Yeah,
and what you would say is that America maybe have learnt the lesson from the first game, having spent all that energy in the first half.
And now we've got Adams and Mount tangling on the halfway line. It was a bouncing ball between the two of them. It was flicked up into the body of McKennie, and then in the end it's given as an England free kick. I think McKennie just caught Mount with an arm across the top of the body and then the face. Not really any intent in it, so just a free kick. Trippier on the right hand side. Trippier curls it into the box, but that is headed up and away by Zimmerman. England take up possession again, but Trippier plays it a little way behind John Stones, and so Maguire, a heavy touch from Maguire, very nearly presented it to Pulisic. He had to be sharp there, Maguire, to actually get to the ball ahead of Pulisic. So instead they go all the way back to Pickford again. Long pass from Pickford, and Dest is up high above Sterling. It's hooked forward, stretched from Rice. Mount had to come and help, but he did. It bounces away. McKennie, though, nice turn, used his body to get away from Mount, and McKennie surges forward to the edge of the England penalty area, into the box now on the right hand side, back onto his left foot, plays it to Musa on the edge of the area. Musa across to Pulisic. England defenders getting back. Pulisic shoots and hits the bar. Pickford diving to his right, and it strikes the top of the bar and loops away at a crazy angle over to the far side and behind for what is a goal kick. But the United States, the width of the crossbar from taking the lead.
It's a fantastic strike from Pulisic on his weaker foot. Kieran Trippier almost says, go on then, from that angle. Put my goalie, I back me on the angle. Wow, it nearly came off. It's dipping, it's got everything on it, just not enough.
Juliet Farrington is down pitch side behind that goal.
Yeah, Jordan Pickford far from happy, getting in his way, getting in that wrath. John Stones, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw in particular, and Maguire have been on the receiving end of Pickford's noise. He has been barking at those players, and Declan Rice as well in this last 10 minutes or so, as the Americans certainly put on the pressure down this end.
Harry Kane wins a free kick as England fired it away down the middle. Not sure how much there was in that. Zimmerman just putting his hip into Kane, who went to ground, and the referee said free kick, so it's almost in the middle of the USA half.
Yeah, there was no effort from Zimmerman to play the ball. I think that was the key part, that Kane was up in the air. It took him out. I think it was more the contact with the ground on the hip for Harry Kane that was the painful part.
The other thing about the pitch, Rob, I'm reliably informed by people who were here yesterday that they were actually colouring the pitch yesterday to make it look more green.
Paint the sand green.
Yeah, that's your speciality, of course, green. Free kick, middle of the half. Shaw receives it, puts his foot on the ball. It's played into the penalty area to the back post. Maguire heads it across, but Dest stretched, and the USA do clear it away to Luke Shaw on the halfway line. And England will start again. 0-0, 10 minutes to go to the break. We'll hear from Micah Richards again. Kelly's here with us tonight, Kelly Cates, presenting the programme from inside the stadium with us. And Rice takes up possession inside his own half. Mark Chapman's in the stadium tonight as well. They're very rarely seen inside the same football stadium together, Mark Chapman and Kelly Cates. So it's a real red letter day in the old bait, as Maguire will take it forward, and it's all the way back to Pickford. Mark Chapman on TV duties tonight, so looking $1 million.
We are all honoured.
Here's Stones. Stones turns and shuffles the ball forward. Highlights on BBC One at 11:30 tonight. Or, of course, watch them on the iPlayer. Jermaine Genius and Ashley Williams with Mark. Here's Maguire out to the left-hand side to Shaw. And then back it comes to Maguire in the middle of the England half. There's not been much in it. It's been quite an even game. Bellingham, back then to Rice. Rice to the left-hand side. Shaw, Mount makes a run down the left-hand side. Shaw will take it on now. He's got options either side. He uses Mount. Mount whips it in right-footed. Bellingham with a flick. It was blocked by Zimmerman. Still in the USA penalty area. Sterling trying to get it down. Shaw in the box, turns, stabs it back to Mount on the edge of the area. Mount flips it in, but it's caught by Turner, who's able to come and catch, and then he gets rid of it quickly. He's looking for the racing Pulisic, and Stones is able to come across and times that beautifully. Jumps, heads it out of play, and Pulisic vigorously claps back towards Turner.
Rightly so. Fantastic ball from the goalkeeper into the path of Pulisic. Cleverly read, well read by John Stones, but I think that's better from England, just to control the game, kill it, pick the time to go and play, pick the time to attack. You don't want to get into a frenetic, chaotic game with this American side, because that's what they thrive on. That's their game.
England 0, USA 0. And here is Musa. Yunus Musa plays the ball forward, but it bounces back. That looked like a clear tug by Mount in the central third of the field on Weah. No free kick. The referee's played advantage there again. Weah gets on his feet, rather nimbly plays it out to the left-hand side. Robinson infield. American confidence is growing here, and the referee spotted a handball as it bounced up into Pulisic, and it's a free kick to England.
Yeah, well spotted, and just an opportunity. England slow it down, because for 20 minutes you thought, well, this could be a case of England taking the lead and just growing in confidence, but since then America have grown into the game and really looked like the more likely, without, yes, they hit the crossbar, but never got round the back of England as such. But do look the more likely, the more confident right now.
Yeah, Shaw was under pressure, miscontrolled it, out of play. USA take the throw. Maguire's able to head it away, gets it back, and then thumps it away. McKennie takes that down, plays it infield. Good play from McKennie. Now it's Adams. Adams, busy little figure, as we know. Leeds United supporters, of course, know this season in that central midfield. When things have gone well for Leeds this season under Jesse Marsch, he's usually had a very good game. Out of play for a throw on the right-hand side. Dest to take this. Serginho Dest, the Dutch-born Dest, just leaves the ball, and McKennie's he's leaned over the hoardings and he's wiping his hands on the bib of a photographer to dry his hands. I don't think I've ever seen that before. The photographer looked very amused. Throw from McKennie then, and Maguire got up but didn't get a clean header on it. It's still bouncing in play, and it is Wright, Hadji Wright against Stones, and as he tried to turn him, Stones got a foot in to stab it behind for a corner to USA there first.
Yeah, a bit unnecessary that. John Stones had the header. It was a standing header, but one that he was going to win, and Harry Maguire coming in trying to take charge and just confuse the situation. So a corner which was avoidable.
Yeah, so now England having to defend a corner. So best behaviour, everyone. USA corner. Swing into the near post, but Maguire gets up and is able, really unchallenged, to head that away to comparative safety, and then they're all over Sterling, combination of Dest and Robinson, and it's a free kick to England halfway inside their own half. So half a few chances, really, when you look at it, and I think the USA have had more opportunities. England had the first clear one, that deflected shot from Kane, which was very good. Yeah, 4-3, so the hesitate to call them the official statistics, but our set of statistics says 4-3. In fact, they're the BBC statistics, so they must be right, Rob.
Absolutely.
Bug played forward to the halfway line, bounces down. Here is Musa. Musa going back into his own half, turns. Well, it says there in black and white, so it must be right. Musa back to Dest now on the far side with his bleached hair. Then back to Musa again, little ball forward. Then McKennie plays it over the top. That was good. And now Weah takes it on down the right hand side. Here's the cross, but it's over everyone inside the penalty area and bounces out here to the near side for England. They're right. Declan Rice, low ball forward. Kane knew that McKennie was coming. Oh, and in comes the challenge on him from Adams. And Mount infield, that's a good ball. Nicely done by Saka, takes it away from Adams. Saka then plays it to the far side, but played that beyond Bellingham, and that meant that Weah was onto the ball again, gets his head down, but Bellingham glides across. It's amazing how he got there so quickly without really seeming to have put on a sprint. And it bounces out of play, which has been disputed by Bellingham, who feels it should have been an England throw, but it's a USA throw.
No, it was a good opening for England. You just felt that the switch was on, everyone could see it, apart from the man on the ball, Bukayo Saka. He eventually saw it and then played a really poor ball out, and the opportunity was wasted. But when England do have it under control, they can play through.
Yeah, and but this is good from the United States. Back heel sets Dest away, and Dest into the penalty area, beats Maguire and shoots, and it's deflected right across the face of goal and out towards the corner flag, where it eventually rolls out of play. But it is a corner to USA. Good play, Dest.
Yeah, England just aren't dealing with the direct running of America, and it's coming from every angle. It's coming from the midfield, it's coming from the fullbacks, it's coming from the wingers. When they go direct, England are backpedaling. Eventually there, Harry Maguire was showing Dest down the line, showing him wide, stepped inside. He thought he was going to get a shot away. It was a great block in the end.
That's Rob Green with us on 5 Live here inside the Old Bait Stadium, and it's a corner to the United States as half-time approaches. And here it is, played into the edge of the 6-yard box, right onto the head of Harry Maguire. I think we must have the effects from down on pitch side, because that was a right splash, wasn't it, off the head of Maguire. He must have had a lot of perspiration on it.
Yeah, I think the ball felt that one, didn't it?
It did. Take that. Hiya. As we've all got on our phones out here, the Hiya app. Here is Zimmerman. Always makes me think of Miss Piggy whenever I press on it. Yeah.
I was thinking of Batfink.
Yeah, well, that shows our respective ages. Here is Weah now to the right-hand side. Wright is out there. Sterling has come back, so Wright gives it back to Dest. Foot on the ball. Dest's cross, headed down, but across goal and wide by Pulisic, who is in there again. He's already struck the crossbar, Pulisic. Now he's getting up for headers. Is this the same Pulisic that we've been watching for Chelsea?
Well, at times for Chelsea, few and far between.
But he's got the stars and stripes on now, Rob.
Captain America, he's actually off his shoulder. I think it's just slightly behind him, so he's coming back onto it. He's mistimed it. Again, down this right-hand side, England are stepping off, they're stepping back, they're not putting the pressure on. They're not on the front foot.
England 0, United States 0, and now United States having the better of it. I think Stuart Holden, who we heard from before the game, former United States international, played in the World Cup against Rob back in 2010. He came up and spoke to us, which I very much enjoyed at half-time in the previous match. As Sterling then plays it to Saka, but that breaks down for England. Given away though, played away, Trippier, back to Bellingham. Be a good time for England to score this after being under pressure. Shaw with a cross, but Turner's going to be able to catch that quite comfortably. Even though Saka was arriving, Kane wasn't too far away, and he overarms it out. And we've seen the American confidence grow as the half has continued. And Stuart Holden, when he sat down and was getting ready to talk to us, he said to me, "Right, here we go. I'm going to be a Yankee Doodle dandy today." And he was exactly that. He lived up to it, didn't he?
Played to the character, played to the role, yeah.
Yes, it was Bob Hope, like almost. I thought. Danny Kaye, maybe. Here is Mount, who plays it to the left-hand side. Now back to Declan Rice, who uses John Stones. Gareth Southgate, again with that the dark suit and the cream polo neck on underneath it, watching on. Saka in front of him, passes it forward to Bellingham, and Bellingham whips it into the back post, where Dest was able to set himself and head it away, a glance away, but he's given it to Shaw, and now Sterling and Shaw. Oh, Shaw's done superbly well, pulls it back, Saka at the near post, left foot lifts it high over the top, surrounded by Americans in blue shirts.
Yeah, brilliant from the two flanks, brilliant initially from Jude Bellingham with the cross. Harry Kane just didn't read it. He didn't think that Jude Bellingham would be able to put such a good ball in. Then Luke Shaw driving in, was just behind Saka. He couldn't get any control on the shot, high and wide. But again, England picking their moments, picking the time, creating the chances just when they show that bit of composure.
Yesterday in that big FIFA conference, there were questions to Gareth Southgate from the New Yorker, the Washington Post, Goal USA, Soccer Wire, and certainly the chap from Soccer Wire, I think, was looking for Gareth Southgate maybe to see if he would diss the American game. But as you can imagine, Gareth Southgate saw that coming from a mile off, and his response was, he said, "I'm not sure that England have ever beaten the United States in a major tournament. Have they?" And he said, "I can tell you they haven't." Sterling through to the edge of the box, shot from Mount, good save. Turner down to his right, that was hit with real power from Mason Mount. Lovely combination on the edge of the box, but just too close to the keeper, who was able to make a good stop.
No, great strike, great save, and a lovely one-touch pass from Sterling. Probably a foot inside the post that gives Turner the chance to get down. It's too close to him, and he can get down, he can cut his legs, which makes it that bit quicker. But because it's closer, it allows him to cut his legs and drop down quicker. He doesn't have to put the power into his right-hand side.
Good save though, artistic from Turner. Corner from the left for England, so it's going to be an in-swinger. Here it comes into the 6-yard box, but it's an easy take for Turner again, who's had a good first half. If you wanted to sort of, well, you know, Rob, with your goalkeeping hat on. There's the half-time whistle. England 0, United States 0. Turner turns and applauds to the United States fans. Doesn't take too much for them to get excited, and they're wildly waving their stars and stripes, and he applauds again, whipping them up again. That's not necessarily something he needs to do, but he's had a good half, and it is 0-0, and the United States have had a good half.
Yep, and they found their way into the game. They looked a little bit all at sea at the start of the game, weren't quite sure. They were in a different shape, 4-4-2, weren't getting the press right, weren't dropping right. England were in control. Then they started to find their way. They started to drive at England, which they've struggled with. Had the best chances in there. Pulisic hitting the crossbar, McKennie going high and over when really should have done better. But it's in the balance, and England, they're going in, and you say, look, we can play better than this. We are better than this. Go out and prove it.
Yeah, McKennie had that big chance. Pulisic with a shot hit the crossbar. But England have had two big chances as well, I would say. The early chance for Kane, and that one there at the end, which was really powerfully hit and well saved by Turner. So half-time here, it is England 0, the United States 0, and Kelly Cates is sitting just to my left.
Thank you, John Murray. Rob, was it you in the car on the way here who said there's an element of Leeds about the way that the USA play? Just for if people are trying to picture them at home, that it does have that same energy and intensity, but also the Leeds that don't have Patrick Bamford available to them.
There is that, I'm sure we'll be watching at home, but it's one that you're looking at how they play and the energy, but also the chaoticness of it, that you're thinking, right, okay, well, where's his chance going to come from? Where's the composure going to come from? And it's not, it's just them going, I'm going to go and be really uncomfortable for England here. And it has been an uncomfortable half, and it's one that England haven't quite, when they're on the front foot and they're stepping forwards and they look to dominate, they have. And then all of a sudden, they've not quite got it right, or they've stepped half a step back as a team, and they've really taken that. And so, like I say, they'll feel good going into the half-time break and saying, actually, we're in this.
Rob Green and John Murray will take you through the second half of this game at the Albait Stadium. Micah Richards is alongside me as well. Micah, what did you think of England in that first half?
I thought they was average, if I'm being totally honest, Kels. We give them the big build-up. You know, in the first game against Iran, they was exceptional, but today they've been sloppy. In possession, they're moving the ball too slow. Stones or Maguire needs to step out into midfield to create that space and draw their strikers towards them. Too many sideways passes. Some good combinations from Trippier, Bellingham and Saka in the first 20 minutes. But after that, it's almost like England have come to the game today and just expected to win. The reason why they were so good against Iran, because they was on the front foot, high energy. The midfield today has been non-existent. Musa, McKennie and Adams are running that midfield from the USA, and the USA probably deserve to be ahead, if I'm being honest.
We've certainly heard from the supporters during this first half. Juliet Farrington is down pitch side, right in the midst of it.
Yeah, just watching England substitutes, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jack Grealish, Calvin Phillips, Marcus Rashford going through various passing and crossing drills during this half-time. I've got to say, there's 4 American guys right behind me. I kind of gave the thumbs up to them at half-time to try and gauge what they were thinking. I got the double thumbs up back, and a scarf held aloft from one of the USA fans. One nation, one team. Jordan Pickford, at the end of that first half, certainly applauding Luke Shaw when he had that drive to Saka, and then pulled up his shorts in frustration, Pickford, with Mason Mount and that strike as well, because he has been bellowing at his England teammates throughout that first half, especially when the USA were piling on the pressure and had that period. But I'm sure he's got a few things to say at half-time, as the substitutes have now left the pitch as well, and they'll be going back into that England dressing room.
Jules, thank you very much. There are options for Gareth Southgate, and I just wonder if that energy level that you talked about, Micah, that isn't quite there, might be a product of having played just a few days ago, if maybe they do need some fresh legs, even though it was relatively straightforward against Iran.
Yes, maybe, but after the Iran game, you come into this game full of confidence. So I don't think we can use that as an excuse. I think we've come today and thought we've had a great victory, and let's try and just play our way through the game. But they're playing too slow. When they've quickened up the tempo of the game, they've got in. But everything they're doing at the moment is too laboured, too slow. And in that second half, they need to quicken it up, sharpen it up, and maybe introduce the Foden, the Grealish. Kane's up there and not really being in the game, coming a little bit too deep. Sterling's not really being the explosive Sterling we've seen in the last game. And Mount, really, you know, the chance at the end, he just needs to go the other side of the goalkeeper. Everything has just been average, if I'm being honest.
As much as it's been that way for England, for the USA, there has been that energy from them. They're a young team, and that enthusiasm shows on the pitch. They've almost got a bounce in their step.
Exactly that, and they've got players who play in Europe, in some of the biggest leagues in the world, for a reason, because they deserve to be playing at this level. And it's like they've come to and approached this game today like, okay, we may be the underdogs, but we're going to show everyone what we can do. I think the only thing they are missing, Paul right up front, he's not a clinical striker. If they had a Harry Kane on their side, they'd probably be 2-0 up at this moment in time. No real composure for them, but the energy in midfield, it's been a delight to watch, especially that Musa. He's been running it. He's the general in there, and England need to sharpen up in the second half.
USA making life really difficult for England at the Al Bayt Stadium, but it is still goalless at half-time. There is one other line to bring you as well. You will remember this decision made by the European teams not to wear the One Love armband, that is that symbol of diversity and inclusion for their opening matches because of the fear of sporting sanctions. We then saw the German players with their hands over their mouths for their team photo. There's been a German politician and a Belgian politician in the stands at World Cup matches wearing the One Love armband. So they've been making their feelings very clear, as have several players in their press conferences. Well, at Wembley this evening, the arch is illuminated in the colours of a rainbow. Tariq Panja, the journalist on social media, has made the point that thousands of miles away from Qatar, away from the referee's book, England's Football Federation takes its brave stance before tonight's game with the US. So an element of irony in Tariq Panja's statement there on social media, but the FA trying to make their point by illuminating the arch at Wembley in the colours of the rainbow. The game itself will get underway very shortly with the score at England 0, USA 0, and we'll be reflecting on a defeat for Wales earlier in the day after the BBC News.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With the headlines, I'm Richard Foster. Scotland's biggest teaching union is striking for another 16 days in January and February in a dispute about pay. Members of the EIS will walk out into local authorities each day, meaning every pupil will miss one day of lessons. The Foreign Secretary James Cleverly has announced new aid for Ukraine on a visit to Kyiv. He's accused Russia of brutal attacks on civilians and on infrastructure. Missile strikes have caused widespread power blackouts there. President Putin has told mothers of Russian soldiers fighting against Ukraine that he shares their pain. He's been taking part in a meeting with several parents shown on state TV. The Kremlin hasn't commented on claims that the mothers were carefully chosen. A potentially hazardous substance has been found on a body discovered in a suburban street in Greater Manchester. It was discovered near Wigan at around 7 o'clock last night. Police are trying to work out who it is. And Black Friday sales have rebounded despite predictions that the higher cost of living would put people off shopping. Barclaycard says transactions are up 3% on last year. Products to help people reduce their energy bills have been very popular.
BBC 5 Live.
On Saturday night, 5 Live Boxing returns.
I want to fight everyone there is something to fight in my era.
Dillian White takes on undefeated American Jermaine Franklin in a heavyweight contest.
I want to learn and push myself to learn. I'm obsessed with trying to learn and be better. I'm a warrior and I come to fight. Taking risks and chances is nothing to me.
Hear full commentary live from Wembley. Saturday night from 10:15 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Capes.
We're at the Al Bayt Stadium this evening for England against the USA in Group B. There's an opportunity for England to qualify for the knockout stages of the competition, but they're currently drawing 0-0 against USA, who are making life very difficult for England this evening. We'll be back here for the coverage of the second half very shortly. Earlier, though, Wales were beaten 2-0 by Iran, so Rob Page's side are bottom of Group A. They need a win against England to progress. That game's on Tuesday, and they also need other results to go their way. Rick Edwards has been speaking to Dan James.
As the game went on, I thought we grew into the game a lot more. Obviously went down to 10 men quite late. I thought we were controlling the ball a bit more. They had a lot of counter-attacks, which we defended well, but I thought we were controlling a bit more, and obviously the red card changes the game. They were threatening us with their counter-attack. I think the first goal they take so well, it's come out to him, and it's an incredible finish, and then we push for that equaliser, and it's 4v2, and the guy has a great finish as well. So yeah, we're super disappointed, but we've got to dust ourselves off now. We've got another big game coming up tomorrow. We've got hold our heads high and just go into that last game with confidence.
What was said in the circle on the pitch after the game?
Gaz, obviously, he's a captain, he's a leader. He always believes in us, he believes in himself, and for us it's just about going to that last game. We've still got one more game. We can't be disappointed and think we're out. You never know what happens in group football. We know England are a great team, and we've obviously got to go into that with no fear, and we'll watch the game tonight. We'll analyse the game from today and see what we could have done a lot better, and we'll go into that last game and we've got nothing to lose. So
there is that chance that England have already qualified by the time you come to play them on Tuesday. That might play into your hands.
Yeah, you can say that, but even if they were to rest players, they've got 2 11s, great players, fresh legs. They want to win every game they can, and we've just got to we've got to know that going into it.
That was earlier in Group B with Wales' defeat by Iran, and it leaves the group looking like this as things stand. England, of course, drawing 0-0 against USA at the moment. That would leave England top of the group on 4 points, Iran on 3 points with their victory earlier today. It would put the USA on 2 points, the draw with Wales, and then the draw potentially this evening, and Wales bottom of the group with just 1 point. That game between England and Wales on Tuesday could be absolutely crucial for Wales, and it's possible that if England win this evening, they potentially could qualify for the knockout stages. Micah, in terms of the way that group is panning out, if England don't sharpen up in the second half of this game, they might need something from the game against Wales as well on Tuesday.
Exactly that, and that's why I'm thinking, approach this game, you win today, you through the group, you can introduce players in the third game. I don't know whether, Janssen, are they a bit tired? Maybe they are a bit tired, but I just thought the confidence from the first game, they'd come out of this game out the blocks, and they haven't, which is a bit frustrating. In the second half, they're going to have to do that. Maybe look at changing the system, maybe getting another midfielder on there or a bit more pace up front, because at the moment it's just a bit too laboured, and you don't want to end up drawing or potentially losing this game, going into that Wales game thinking you've got to get something out of it, and that is the concern.
England and USA opponents on the pitch this evening, but the announcer here at the stadium has found something that unites them in the form of Neil Diamond as they play Sweet Caroline, and the England fans and USA fans joining in with this one. I don't know if anybody's sick of it yet, but it's still going strong inside this stadium. But a big 45 minutes coming up for England in terms of their World Cup hopes, as both of the summarisers here inside the stadium, Micah Richards and Rob Green, decide to get stuck into the Haribos. Other sweets, of course, are available. Which of you two is best placed to start speaking?
Absolutely, always ready, Kelly.
Big 45 for England coming up.
Yeah, I just think, we've been quite negative about them, and the performance hasn't been where it wanted to be. But John Murray pointed out at the start of the game, they were looking for a clean sheet. They've got a clean sheet so far. It's not been the best. You get through a tournament and you improve through a tournament. If this was the first game and we said, I tell you what, they've been a bit off it, they haven't got it quite right, you'd say, well, that's why. We got a bit of a helping hand in the first game. This has been a test. It's been a challenge in different ways from the first game, but we've still got the clean sheet. That's what we wanted. It's not been perfect, but we've still got a great platform here to go and win the game if we improve.
US are out on the pitch, England yet to make an appearance, so just time to bring you up to date with what else has happened already today. The host Qatar won't make it past the group stages. A 3-1 defeat for them by Senegal. It's left them with no points in Group A after 2 games. Netherlands and Ecuador are joint top of the group. They drew 1-1. And Neymar and Danilo will miss the rest of the group stages for Brazil due to ankle injuries. 4 more commentaries to come on 5 Live tomorrow. We've got all of them for you. You'll know that by now. 10 o'clock is Tunisia against Australia. 1 o'clock for Poland against Saudi Arabia. 4 o'clock for France against Denmark. And then at 7 o'clock, just from what we've seen by being out on the streets of Doha, the 2 best represented fan bases in the competition, Argentina and Mexico, go head to head, and we'll have live commentary of that one for you as well. But they're getting set to kick off in the second half here at the Al Bayt Stadium. It's England 0, USA 0. Taking you through it, Rob Green and John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. Alan Shearer is going to be with me for the France-Denmark match, actually. So you'll be able to hear Alan as the summariser on 5 Live tomorrow afternoon. The teams are out, and there are no changes. So the teams as they started the match. England with Pickford, Trippier, Stones, Maguire and Shaw, Rice, Bellingham and Mount, Saka, Sterling and Kane. And the United States, as the referee blows the whistle and the Americans get the second half underway, all in blue with the white numbers, against England, who are in the almost all-white kit tonight with the blue flashes on the shoulders. USA with Turner in goal, Dest, Zimmerman, Riemann, Robinson at the back, McKennie, Adams and Musa in midfield, and then Weah and Pulisic either side of Haji Wright. That was the only change the Americans made, Greg Berhalter, whereas England were unchanged. So England on the back foot here as the United States attack on the left-hand side. Robinson turns and plays it back to the halfway line. Jude Bellingham was left on the ground there with a challenge on the halfway line. Musa plays it to the left-hand side to Robinson. Robinson into the box, headed up and back out to the far side by Declan Rice for a throw. England 0, United States 0. Rob Green.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham having a chat with the referee there, rightly so. Got cleaned out in the middle of the pitch, in possession, and all of a sudden, the United States broke through, and good possession for them in a good area. We're looking for England just to have a change of tempo, a change of atmosphere, a change of really a spark in this second half.
The United States take the throw, and Robinson gets it back and plays it out of play off Trippier for another throw there near the corner flag in this immense stadium. Super ground for football, almost 70,000 capacity. Ball on the left after the United States take the throw. Goes back to the halfway line. Tim Ream of Fulham back across to his fellow central defender Zimmerman, who's passed it in completely the opposite direction to Turner, who was running to his right across the penalty area, and the pass was 10 yards to his left. It was actually on target. but was played with no great pace, so the goalkeeper was able to change direction, slap the brakes on Rob.
Yeah, as a goalkeeper, you get told to change the angle and move away from your goal. It always leaves the question in the back of your mind to say, what if the centre-half doesn't look?
He hits it like that pass that Eric Dyer hit the other week. It would have been in the back of the net. Anyway, 0-0, England 0, United States 0. On the subject of sweets, at half-time, one of our Qatari hosts, in full traditional dress, just walked up to producer Gary and said, could he have one of our sweets, one of our opal fruits? So it's not been a great day for Qatar, so we let him choose whichever colour he wanted.
His eyes lit up when he got one.
England 0, USA 0. So Luke Shaw with a throw for England. Rice comes short, but McKennie goes with him, so delay, and then the throw is taken forward onto the chest of Sterling, and then forward by Adams, but that gives possession back for England. They're attacking from right to left towards the end, where most of the England support are gathered down in the lower tier to our left, and now ball on the right hand side with Saka, who tried to angle it back but didn't get the pass quite right, and the Americans could be away on the counter-attack here. Trippier's out of position, and now it's Pulisic who takes it on over the halfway line and plays it forward to right, and Hadji Wright into the penalty area on his right foot. This is dangerous, but it's blocked. It's blocked, and it comes out though to the shot from McKennie, who I think he slipped as he hit that. He did, you know, and his one foot gave way, and that meant he shoveled it right over the top of the crossbar by probably 8 or 10 yards.
Well, that's the jeopardy. That's the chaos that we're talking about. That's what England get it wrong at one end, and all of a sudden, the length of the pitch, the game changes. It's good defending now, showing him inside, make the block. McKennie, he's had 2 shots in this game, and I don't want to put the mockers on him, but I'm not putting it down as one of his strong points.
England 0, United States 0. He's actually scored 9 goals in now 39 appearances for the USA, which is not a bad goal-scoring record from midfield. Here is Bellingham, plays it towards Sterling. The wonder will be, the question will be, how long will it be before Gareth Southgate decides to make some changes? And we know the strength there is there on the substitutes bench. Here's Saka now on the right-hand side for England. Saka back to Trippier behind him, and then Trippier, ball stationary at his feet, uses Sterling, who's found a position. Now into the penalty area, plays it on, but Robinson was able to come back across and get there first, and right-footed clears it to the halfway line, so England will start again.
It's good covering by Robinson. He was out wide with Saka, saw the danger. Sterling, big touch through the defence, almost a pass to himself. Robinson was alive to it.
Yeah, the other end, I must want to give credit to, I think it was Declan Rice, wasn't it, who blocked the shot.
It's good defending.
Yeah, really good defending, because I have to say, I thought Hadji Wright was away from him onto his right foot, and that could have caused real problems. The Americans hit the crossbar in the first half. Pulisic with a flashing shot from outside the penalty area. England have a free kick just inside the American half, which is taken short, and then here is Stones on the halfway line. Stones curls a pass out to the right. That's taken down by Trippier, and now Mount has found some space, tried to play it into the box. That was blocked by Adams. Trippier was beaten to it. Pulisic then beat Mount to it, his Chelsea teammate, and Pulisic is off and running again. Trippier trying to get back. Rice has gone right out there to the far side, but also so has Bellingham, and plays it out of play. I thought again that had come off the foot of the USA player, but it's given us a throw to the Americans.
But it's almost a carbon copy of what we just saw, and it was a poor ball this time from Mason Mount, first time from Saka. Again, charging down the left-hand side. The American team really have got legs.
Every match is on 5 Live and BBC Sounds from this World Cup, and we've also got an exciting new functionality to tell you about. So when we got a stoppage, I'll tell you about it. Brace yourself. Here's Rice. Rice moves away from Pulisic and now passes it to Saka, and Saka's got space in front of him and he takes it on. Adams comes across. Good tackle, Adams, for the United States. Went with him shoulder to shoulder. It was in the area, went to ground and tackled it out of play on the right.
He is pumped. He loved that.
Throw-in is taken. It's out of play for another throw to England on the right-hand side. I didn't see that. What did he do?
It's just the screens here in front of us that after the tackle got up, and in no particular direction, just screamed out loud.
A whoop, no doubt. Here's Maguire through the middle, bounces away from him, and it's cleared away by Zimmerman on the edge of the box, just lifts it forward, offers it to Weah to run forward, but Shaw comfortably got there first and plays it back to Pickford. Pickford's first-time pass, lovely from him. But no particular pressure, but picked out Trippier, who was in space on the far side. And then Rice was put under pressure from Haji Wright, but England are still keeping the ball inside their own half. 7 minutes played in the second period. Kane plays it over the top. Mount is onto this, but the ball got away from him, and it bounced into the path of Zimmerman, who was able to tidy up.
Yeah, poor from Mount again, touch the pass. But when England miss out a man, when they don't play the simple ball, they get through. Whether it's right to left with a switch or from defence straight into Kane, they get through.
There's a man down injured on the halfway line, and
it's way up. Yeah.
It was just a sort of Luke Shaw came in for it was a 50-50 with him, and I think he's stood on the inside of his boot, maybe. Just seeing the replay now. There's a sort of coming together of ankles.
Yeah, top of the ankle clash, and there's nothing really in it. They both win the ball in their own way.
The exciting new functionality, Rob, is that if you've joined us late, on most smart speakers, just ask BBC Sounds to rewind to whatever time it is, to go back to the start of our commentary. So ask BBC Sounds to go back to the start of the commentary at whatever time, and you can listen again from the start. Ask BBC Sounds or the magic words. It is an exciting new functionality.
Do you think many people will be doing that for this first half?
We might. How many Americans live in the UK? And of course, you can listen to BBC Sounds wherever you are in the world. Listening this afternoon to Mr. Ian Dennis and Sounds when I was doing the washing up. Here is sorry, it was actually Gary who was doing the washing up. I got that round to correct that. Yeah, normally it's me, but it was Gary today. Not many previous World Cups have I done washing up. Here's Bellingham out to the right-hand side, forward towards Saka, plays it back into his own half. Trippier across to Rice. Rice then picks out the pass to the left-hand side. You do wonder that as that hour mark approaches, must be substitutions in the mind of Gareth Southgate. Kane drags the ball back nicely, then takes it on. Mount's here on the left-hand side. Mount turns, tries to go round Dest, but is forced back, and then back to the halfway line it goes, and Harry Maguire will just tap it to his right again. Declan Rice is there, John Stones is there this time, and now Trippier on the far side. And Micah Richards was saying at half-time about England needing to pass the ball more quickly, get more pace involved in it. We've not really seen that, Rob, have we, in the second half yet?
It works when they miss out a man, when it's not the safe pass, and they get it through and they get it round. At the moment, it's just not often enough, it's just not good enough.
Again there, Trippier trying to play the ball through, passes it into Robinson, bounces out of play. England throw. Substitutes are now warming up, 3, 4, 5 of them. 5 England substitutes, just sprinting up and down the near touchline, way down below us. Shaw takes the ball down on his chest. Shaw back to Rice. Rice has a look forward, but will play it short because the Americans, it's 10 blue shirts behind the ball. Headed forward by Maguire to the edge of the box. Kane was there, but he was very closely watched by Zimmerman. And now in slides Saka illegally, says the referee. It's a free kick to the USA.
Yeah, he won the ball with the tackle. It was a little tug beforehand, but then before that, John Stones with the straight ball. It just wasn't the right pass. Mason Mount, who's been a bit part player in this game, now drifting out when England get the ball, drifting out to left back position, in behind Luke Shaw. That's when you know England can't really coming up with answers, when you've got your creative players having to wander.
Gareth Southgate just questioned that with the fourth official, Yoshimi Yamashita, down there. There was a little exchange between the two of them. Just a query, that's all it was. England 0, USA 0. And it is the United States who have the ball at the back. 2 previous World Cup meetings, a draw in 2010 in England's first group match, and then The amazing game, the Miracle on Grass as it was called, from Belo Horizonte in 1950, when the United States shocked England 1-0. Here's Robinson on the left-hand side, infield to Musa, and Musa does move it quickly to McKennie, and McKennie now into the box on the right-hand side, where puts it back, but intercepted by a stretching Jude Bellingham. Very calm, just stepped across and stopped it from reaching anyone in a blue shirt.
Really well read and very mature play, because the idea, you think, oh, go chase the ball, just held his position. They've got to come into the middle of the pitch at some point. They've got to get in front of the goal. I'll just wait and clear it. Really mature play.
Still waiting for the opening goal of this second group match for these sides, after earlier Iran famously won with those two very late goals against Wales. So England 3 points, Iran 3 points, USA 1, Wales 1 in this group. England-Wales on Tuesday, and also, of course, USA against Iran, intriguingly.
Just looking at that, just thinking about that, the draw actually doesn't do anything for the USA here.
They need to win it, they'll know that. And now the ball's been taken infield by Pulisic, weaving one foot to the other, hit the low shot, which took a deflection, which pulled it wide of the near post, so it's a USA corner.
Again, just taking that half a step back, inviting the run. That's when the USA, they thrive. They really want to. They've got players all over the pitch that can do that.
Listen to this. That's the cheers in the throats of the United States supporters inside the ground. Stars and stripes being twirled. Stetsons being waved in the air. Corner from the left-hand side. See, George Washington's down there as well. The corner by Pulisic. This is to the back post, and it's importantly headed away by Maguire, with Dest arriving. And then there's a foul by Musa on Jude Bellingham, who is less than impressed with that challenge. Musa's put the ball in the net. Big cheer from the United States fans, but it's a free kick to England.
Yeah, really important header from Harry Maguire. He's got the role within the defensive unit, 4 set pieces, 4 corners, to be free in the 6-yard box. And that was critical there, because it was Zimmerman 3, was free at the far post. He lost his runner.
England 0, United States 0. Greg Berhalter down there, former Crystal Palace man, just like Gareth Southgate, as the ball is played back forward by Pickford, but Adams is there. This is worrying for England. Robinson now taking it on, has a look. Here's the cross, comes off the head of Declan Rice. That carries it well wide and behind for another corner. Another corner to the United States, who are building up ahead of steam here.
Yeah, we're building up ahead of steam. The American fans down in front of Pulisic, Captain America, getting even more excited. Jordan Pickford telling the England team just to calm down.
So England have got to defend this set piece. Zimmerman just arriving in the penalty area. The grizzled now figure of Tim Ream as well just arrives up there. So it is a corner. Pulisic, big breath, in it comes into the edge of the 6-yard box. Pickford didn't come, it was headed away by Maguire. Still in the area, headed away by Shaw. Comes out to the edge of the box, Sterling. And then in comes a crucial challenge. Kane had to time that, but he did, as Pulisic was looking just to touch it past him, but the England captain put it behind. 3rd consecutive corner for USA, 0-0.
Well, Harry Maguire is close to be getting man of the match here for just from corners headed away, because there's been vital interceptions.
So again, a 3rd consecutive corner, all from that far side, the USA left. Pulisic, here's the delivery, and it goes to the edge of the 6-yard box. Maguire with a header right on the edge of his 6-yard area. It's played back by Ream. Pulisic takes it down. Pulisic now takes on Harry Kane, who was in there defending with his arms behind his back, like all the defenders do now, and Kane runs it away, but shows too much of that to the Americans, who have it back again. England are really on the back foot here. Gareth Southgate must be thinking of making a change. It feels like it needs something just to disrupt this USA flow.
Yep, just needs us to pause in the game, just needs someone to go down injured to really just take the sting out of it, because they are under the pump.
So the USA with Zimmerman, blonde hair tied back, gives it to Adams in the centre circle, who turns all the way round, now back onto his right foot and sprays a pass high. Dest heads that back in field. It's Musa who is onto that, but Declan Rice is is right there all over the back of him, so they have to go back into their own half. England 0, USA 0, less than half an hour to play. Dest, just in front of the coaching areas, takes the ball on past where Greg Berhalter is standing. Dest now drags it back, that's lovely, beats Bellingham, shot from Pulisic, it's deflected up in the air, Maguire got to it, and then across comes Trippier to head it further away. Sterling nods the ball on, and this time Mason Mount is beaten to it, and in the process shoves over Tyler Adams. The two of them bump bodies as they just get to their feet. Free kick to the USA on the right-hand side this time. England are labouring here, struggling.
Yeah, really struggling. Dest picked up the ball on the touchline and was allowed to run all the way into the centre of the pitch without a challenge. And again, it was a vital interception from Harry Maguire, because the deflection would have taken it straight to right. It was on the shoulder. England just can't get the foothold in the game. They've got no energy. It needs to make a change.
Here on the edge of the desert, the United States are on top. England 0, USA 0. Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland are in discussions, but we are in the 63rd minute and still not a substitution for either side. That's most unusual at this World Cup. Robinson playing it forward up the left-hand side. Haji Wright is onto this. Defender comes across and it's blocked behind for another corner. John Stones just has a little word with the Venezuelan referee, but it's another corner, and it feels like England are living on the edge with these corners.
I think if you get through this period, if you get through this game with a clean sheet, you'll look at this and say, what a great test. We rode it, we suffered, we dug in, but when you're in it, you sat there looking at it going, there's no way out at the minute.
Clean sheet seems like a long way away. 0-0. So Pulisic again, from that left again, standing at right angles to the ball. This one is whipped to the back post. Pickford was struggling there, but there was no one arriving on the back post, and it actually hit with pace. He got a touch to it actually, Pickford. He did get his fingertips to it, and so from that touch, beyond the far post and behind for a corner from the other side, the right this time.
Yeah, just the runners across to the near post, they just catch your eye as a goalkeeper and you take a step forwards towards the near post. The ball goes to the far post and all of a sudden it's a scramble. He did enough, there was no one behind him, but he didn't know.
Pulisic has come all the way across, and as he does so, he just tries to whip up the stars and stripes down there. So it's an outswinger this time. Pulisic to the near post, took a header away for England, and that reached Sterling, who is shielding it. He's been fouled. He's been fouled by Dest, and it's a free kick to England and a chance to relieve the pressure. And here's the first substitute, who is just peeling off his... In fact, let's go down. Juliet Ferrington behind the goal has got a view on that.
Yeah, the substitution that England will make will be Jordan Henderson. I can just see him. He's taken his bib off. He's receiving instructions from Gareth Southgate, who has his arm around him right now. So Jordan Henderson will be the England player who is going to come on for you, John.
So Jordan Henderson, right move, Rob?
Well, it says something, doesn't it? You're talking about creative players. Let's get create chances. No, let's just get some experience, get a foothold in the game, get some know-how onto the pitch.
Yep, so he's just getting his final instructions, Jordan Henderson, before he steps into this World Cup at the age of 32. And England, for once, inside the USA half. Ball played infield by Mount, but that's cleared away. The other question, of course, is who comes off?
I think he just gave the ball away.
Mason Mount.
Yeah, he's been a bit part. He's been not his best performance. I'm a big fan, but this has been off it.
Trippier to Bellingham. Bellingham falling, tries to pull it back across the penalty area, looking for Kane, but played away. Rice back to Kane on the edge of the box. Kane plays it through to Saka. Saka's low ball across the edge of the 6-yard box, but Turner falling forward gets there first, the goalkeeper, and is able to underarm it out to McKennie. And McKennie now trying to find a way between two England men, but Rice is able to put the challenge in. The ball rolls out of play, and I think we will see Jordan Henderson coming onto the field now. Or is he quite ready?
I think there's more coming as well.
Is there going to be another England change, Juliet?
There is, because Jack Grealish is now receiving his instruction from the England coaching team, and he's just getting his shirt ready and getting himself onto the side of the pitch. He's got his arms around Jordan Henderson, I can see right now. They're deep in conversation. They've obviously been given the game plan. Those will be the players coming on in this double substitution.
Right, so it's Henderson and Grealish, so that creativity is going to arrive in the shape of Jack Grealish. England 0, USA 0. United States right on top in this second half. It was relatively even in the first half, but there's no doubt which team's running it in the second, and it's not England.
No, you just felt in the first half that England, when they got it right, they forced errors from America. It's just not happened this time. They just can't force anything. They can't force a press. They can't force any errors. They just can't get a grip of the game.
Quarter of the match to go. England 0, USA 0. There will be a 606, by the way, tonight. 5 Live Sport on air till 10 o'clock, and then Robbie Savage back in the UK and Chris Sutton here in Qatar with us will be taking your calls from 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock. We'll let you know when the lines are open, but you can get in touch, hashtag BBC 606. USA play it forward, but it bounces all the way through for a goal kick. And on a Saturday, tomorrow, of course, really busy sporting day. 4 World Cup commentaries. The FA Cup second round this weekend. The Scottish Cup third round. Broomhill 0, Alloa 0. Last we heard tonight in the Scottish Cup, there are 5 commentaries on Sports Extra from the FA Cup and coverage across the BBC. The change for England, it's Jude Bellingham, not Mount. Not sure how that's going down with the England supporters.
No, Raheem Sterling as well. Jack Grealish coming on, straight swap. Just feel that experience is clearly needed. I wouldn't say that Jude Bellingham has had his best game in an England shirt, but when he's got it right, he's been one of the more dangerous players.
But here comes Jordan Henderson, stepping into what is his 6th major tournament. 3 Euros, now 3 World Cups as well for the 32-year-old Liverpool captain. I thought he was an absolute certainty to be in this squad. There was no way that Gareth Southgate was leaving him out. Saka receives it from Henderson, and now Shaw takes it into the box and crosses left-footed, but that's headed away by Ream. Henderson is there, number 8 on his back, and plays it back to the halfway line. Already instrumental, Henderson. He's had 3, 4, 5 touches already. Plays the ball to the right-hand side to Trippier, and then Henderson makes the run. Instead, it comes infield to Saka. England already looking better. Saka to Kane on the edge of the box. Kane tries to lift it into the penalty area. That was blocked by Musa, and so the Americans have it back, but hit it long, and so England have got it inside their own half. 20 minutes to play. Rob Green, England 0, USA 0.
All of a sudden, Jordan Henderson coming onto the pitch says, give me the ball, I want the ball, I'm going to play. Then when England do try to recycle it, when they do try to win it back, he's there. Sustain that pressure, sustain the possession, just the know-how of being in the right place at the right time and how to win it back when it comes out, that reading of the game.
England 0, USA 0. Juliet spotted, incidentally, that Raheem Sterling went down the tunnel after he was brought off. Here's Grealish into the action for the first time and into the penalty area and beating 2, 3 men, but then overplays it, and the USA are able to clear it away, and Weah back to Dest. But Jack Grealish there immediately asking questions of the American defence.
Yeah, different, something what the Americans have been doing all game, just driving at players.
Ball out of play on the halfway line. So Grealish, this is 25th cap, so Grealish his 26th cap. Grealish having scored his first World Cup goal to round things off on Monday afternoon, and the USA are going to respond with their first change down there as well, but we'll see that in due course. The ball played back to goalkeeper Turner in the D. Turner just playing it forward, and Adams now picks out a pass to Dest, who pulls it down, leaps off the ground, now running away from Mount, and then into the challenge that comes in from Luke Shaw, and the ball bounces away. It was a 50-50 between them, and it's out of play for what is given as an England throw. So the USA change, that looks like Aronson down there. It is Brendan Aronson of Leeds United who is coming on. Alloa winning 1-0 at Broomhill in that Scottish Cup third round tie tonight. So 5 Live Sport on air, 9 o'clock in the morning. And Tunisia, Australia is the first commentary from 10 o'clock. Breakfast, Rick Edwards here in Qatar. Peter Schmeichel's on the programme in the morning. And Matt Upson. And Danny Gabardon. And John Murray as well. Star-studded in the morning. England 0, USA 0. I was very impressed with you on the bauble challenge, by the way.
Oh,
very good, very good.
Well, the adjudicator's still deciding on my score.
Still, even now.
He's gone to appeal.
It's like the American election. Trump and Biden all over.
I'm not doing it again. I'm not having a recount.
No, well, neither did they. England 0, USA 0. And Stones carrying the ball forward. England have got to up this in the remaining, well, less than 20 minutes now of this match. England know that if they can win the game, they will be through to the last 16. But it's been back to the unconvincing stuff from England for large parts of this game now. That's what we have to say. Stones carrying it forward and playing it right-footed out towards the left-hand side. Mount takes it down. Grealish now moves in field. He's claiming that he was pulled back by Dest. The referee agrees, gives the free kick. It's actually not unlike the second game at the Euros against Scotland last year, which ended 0-0.
It's very good. And it's now, just looking at Sergio Dest, he went down with cramp moments ago. Just get the ball to Jack Grealish. He just ran it in then, and he was suffering.
Reverse pass from Grealish to Mount. Mount gives it back to Grealish. Grealish pulls it back into the area. Very tight for Kane in between two men in the box. Musa and McKennie couldn't find a way through, but it comes back for England and for Grealish. They're looking to Jack Grealish now, just like the Euros last year, to come on and do something, find the spark. Still England now, putting more pressure on the United States, and after England have been on the back foot for most of the first half, now it is the United States who are having to defend. And it's up to Kane, near the edge of the penalty area. Ream has gone with him. Kane's taken him right away out of the penalty area. However, England have had to go back into their own half. They're recycling it, as they say. Maguire, back to Henderson, and then back to Maguire. Jordan Henderson tonight winning his 71st cap for England. So Brendan Aronson, as I mentioned, is going to come on for the United States next time the ball is out of play. But here is Rice hitting a long pass, but that's way beyond anyone in a white shirt. And Stones it was, wasn't it, with the pass, who punches the air in frustration. Let's go back down to Juliet Farrington behind the goal.
Here I can see Brendan Aronson waiting patiently as the officials there between the dugouts get the board ready and permission to make that substitution. Marcus Rashford right now is the England player doing the latest warm-up as he walks away from the corner flag to my right as Calvin Phillips comes out from the England bench to continue his warm-ups. Maybe England will be making another substitution.
15 minutes to go, 5 Live from the BBC. Take the World Cup with you on BBC Sounds. And here's Jack Grealish in the centre circle. Grealish playing the ball to Mount on the left-hand side. Shaw goes with him. The two of them almost shoulder to shoulder. Mount just touches it to Shaw. Back to Mount. All very tight. The Americans have been so disciplined. You know, this is a well-coached team, as Gareth Southgate said it was yesterday. Rice out to the right-hand side then. Trippier is there. Trippier back in field towards Rice. And then Rice tugging the ball to his left to Luke Shaw again. And then back into the centre circle. Rob Green's already made the point, really. 2 draws for the United States to leave them on 2 points going into the final match. It's not ideal for them, really.
Well, you're in a situation now where you've got to win a game, and will they get the same opportunity as they do now with 15 minutes to go against Iran?
And they'll know exactly what Iran are capable now after really finding their true selves, I would say, in this World Cup earlier against Wales. Maguire forward through the middle. Saka takes that, turns and runs, and then rolls it to the right-hand side to Trippier. And now Henderson, early ball into the penalty area to Saka. The flag stayed down against Saka, but he was forced to take it wide, and there were 2 men in there again as well. Well defended by the USA. Comes back to Maguire, who passes it through the middle. Mount helps it on. Kane goes past Ream, plays it to Saka. Looked like he was offside. In comes Ream with a challenge to put it behind for what it will not be a corner, because Saka was offside. And it's a free kick to USA.
It's just not happening for Bukayo Saka tonight. It's just not been his game since coming on. has made a real difference. Jack Grealish, not in terms of just in confidence on the ball, but also tactically. McKennie is so aware of it, he's having to drop back into right back now to support Sergiño Dest, who's now gone down again. Get the ball to Jack Grealish, just give him the ball and let him run.
What can you see, Juliet?
I can see that Arison is now going to come onto the pitch, but also Marcus Rashford, I was telling you, was doing that warm-up. Steve Holland called him back. Rashford ready to come onto the pitch. The attendance here, 68,463.
So over 68,000 people sitting in this extraordinary stadium on the edge of the desert in Qatar, watching England 0, USA 0, and Brendan Aronson is already onto the field, but also Shaq Moore is going to come on for Dest, as you spotted, Rob. Dest struggling with a maybe cramp. Anyway, Shaq Moore of Nashville is going to come on to play there.
Two players on the right-hand side to freshen it up, and you just think that Greg Berhalter, USA manager, just realised that freshness, that side is needed. They need it, because all of a sudden Jack Grealish on the ball out there causing problems.
And it is Saka who is seeing his number go up, the number 17 on the board, and Marcus Rashford is cheered onto the field. Made an immediate impact, didn't he, in the opening match against Iran, scored within a matter of seconds.
We'll hope for that tonight, but real reception for him. Still his struggles, you hope that goal really sparks him into life for England.
England 0, USA 0. In amongst all of the stories at this World Cup, there have been an increasing number of 0-0 draws, haven't there? Here's Robinson, though, for the United States, now coming forward, again on the left-hand side. It's played in field. Tyler Adams takes it up, plays it to the edge of the area. Pulisic now put under pressure. Well done, Rice. Came across shoulder to shoulder. That was Declan Rice. That was copybook. Declan Rice to put in the challenge and force him to play through for a goal kick.
Reacted, Mason Mount misread the touch and just pleaded for someone to step across. There he was. The fireman fighting the fires, seeing the danger.
That's Rob Green. This is 5 Live. England 0, USA 0. 6:06 coming tonight after we round up the day's events in the World Cup. And then you will have your chance to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 6:06. So we have had 5 0-0 draws in Qatar so far, and the record at a World Cup is 7, which has happened on 4 different occasions. Thank you to my personal statistician, Micah Richards. Now going to take him wherever I go in Qatar. In fact, it's Kelly. It's Kelly. That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, it's easier to take Kelly with me than take Kelly to the World Cup. Here's Mount. Mount now as he's challenged by Aronson, and Aronson comes away. And now, 10 minutes to go. The United States mount another attack. Maguire comes across and gets there first, ahead of Weah. Went to ground and put it out of play.
Yeah, it's just a couple of times now that the United States they've been on the back foot for the last 5-10 minutes since England made those 2 subs. Just the forward ball. They've had glimpses, but they haven't got it right. Much like England for the most of this second half.
It is the United States coming forward with the newly arrived Moore. And now Weah back into centre field to Zimmerman, and then back to the halfway line the Americans go. We are now into the final 10 minutes, and there's a feeling of tension around the place. Grealish misplaces the pass, groans from the England supporters. The United States clear it downfield. Jordan Henderson takes it up again in centre field and passes it back to Stones. The substitutions have certainly lifted England.
Yep.
Could they have come earlier, Rob? You can answer that in a moment, because England are bringing it forward now from the back with Mount, and he plays it across to Kane, who's 25 yards out, but already a defender is there with him, Robinson. So he uses Trippier on the right-hand side. Now back to Kane. It's swirled in by Henderson. Henderson with the cross, but Turner comes and catches it high above the head of Harry Kane and Grealish inside the far side of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 times in this game that Turner in the goal for the United States has come and claimed good crosses, but what that suggests is the quality of the crosses haven't been good enough.
We've had 81 minutes, still waiting for the opening goal. Pulisic hit a post in the first half. There were other good chances as well. McKennie, Kane for England, that was very early on. But here is Moore on the right-hand side for the United States. Moore gets it back, and then he looks to get it back from Weah, which he does. And then Moore playing for the United States, but the greatest World Cup name for England, Moore, on the field playing against England. Ball played forward, and that's a free kick for the challenge on Luke Shaw, and it's a free kick and another substitution, 2 more in fact for the United States. So this time Weah is going to be replaced by Giovanni Reina, the English-born, the Sunderland-born son of Claudio Reina, coming on for his first taste of action at this World Cup. And also coming off is Haji Wright, and it is the Norwich City man, Josh Sargent, who was left out tonight, but he is now on to replace Wright up front.
Reina is a really talented footballer, dogged by injuries throughout his time, throughout his fledgling career. Josh Sargent has scored goals for Norwich this season, playing as a centre-forward, but keeps on getting moved out wide right and stopped scoring. This time, up front and centre. He's not got long.
So double change from Greg Berhalter, 2 forward changes. Reina playing on the right-hand side and Sargent in the middle. Time running out for both of them. England 0, USA 0. At the moment, it's going to be a second consecutive draw for the United States. Back with Turner, though. There have been so many late goals in this World Cup, not least in the earlier match in this group. USA playing it out from the back, that's nice. And it's Robinson who plays it in field. Robinson, it's done well actually, the Fulham left back in this match, but it's been given away by Moore, the right back in England. Here's Grealish away from Moore, who caught him. Grealish sent down sprawling onto his front, so a free kick out on the left wing for England.
There's a clear tactic here. Sergio Dest couldn't do it because he was so tired, but just get as tight as he can to Jack Grealish, don't let him travel with the ball. There's been 2 shots on target in the whole game. I think that pretty much sums it up.
It does. But over the piece that we've seen so far, 84 minutes now, they've been quite well matched.
Yeah, you'd say a point would obviously suit England better, but USA would take more heart from the performances.
Yeah. Free kick then on the left as a result of that foul on Grealish. Shaw to play this in, looking for the delivery, the pinpoint delivery. Maguire making the run. Here's the cross from Shaw from the free kick, but cleared away by Tim Ream. And then the ball put out of play. Pulisic was there, and it's played out by Pulisic, or was he fouled? Was it a free kick? Yeah, a foul on Pulisic. Free kick to the USA deep inside their own half. So we have 5 minutes to go, just over 5 minutes, plus added time, whatever that might be. Think of a number, double it. So a free kick that Turner is going to take.
It's been a frustrating performance by England. None more so. The gesticulations of Micah sat next to me, I think, have summed it up during the 90 minutes.
Yep, more from Micah over the course of the next hour. We'll have the live interviews as well, if I can get the machine working downstairs in the tunnel area. As Grealish takes it down and plays it back to Shaw, and then Shaw back to the edge of the penalty area to Harry Maguire. That's what he'd want for his 50th cap, a clean sheet. Maguire, certainly. Rice playing it back behind Stones. And this is how the match began, actually. Stones and Rice and Maguire playing the ball around the edge of their own penalty area. Certainly none of the flow, really, or little of the flow, should I say, that we saw from England against the hapless Iranians on Monday afternoon. England 0, USA 0. Pickford out to Shaw. I think those England supporters want to see England moving it forward and getting it forward quickly and trying to win this game. If they win the game tonight, they get this late goal and win it, England will be through. But I think those England fans are suggesting that there's There's not enough urgency.
There isn't urgency in the game, but you just feel that they've just not had the foothold in the game to really put the foot down and say, well, we've had control, we've had possession, we can dictate. They've just not had it. It's just not been that game.
No. Grealish playing it back to Harry Kane, who plays it through to Rashford, and Rashford takes it on. He's got defenders all round him, leaps nimbly away from Zimmerman, gives it to Grealish. Grealish now coming across the edge of the penalty area, a back heel to Rashford. Rashford puts his foot on it, whips it goalwards, but an easy one for Turner just to take into his gloves. A couple of little steps to his left and caught it.
Yeah, he caught it. It was nearly a back pass. That was slow. It was just would have had to have been pinpoint perfection for that to go in on that angle with so little bit backlift, so little power into the shot. You have to say probably it was a poor choice from Rashford. But then again, Jack Grealish gets the ball, a little bit of life, a little bit something.
England 0, USA 0. They've hardly made a note in the second half in terms of chances. The shot from right that was blocked by Rice, and Rashford with that one there, which was, very much in the bracket of easy goalkeeping saves at any level really. And now here's Aronson for the United States. 2.5 minutes of the 90 to play. Aronson, here's his Leeds United teammate Adams. Moore from right back for USA. Now it's being taken on and forward by Reina towards the edge of the area, but England are able to win it back, and it's being brought forward by Maguire, who passes it. That's asking a lot of Harry Kane. Zimmerman is able to get there first and pass it back into his penalty area to Turner, who finds Moore, but Mount is chasing him. Back to Zimmerman. Ball's played across the penalty area. Turner takes a touch on his left post. Mount's still going, and the referee, the goalkeeper's running out of the penalty area altogether, chased by Mount. And now forward it goes, and Musa gives it to the left-hand side. This could be dangerous. Back to Aronson, just outside the area. The ball is worked across, all the way to the right-hand side. Moore. One good ball across from Moore, but he couldn't find it. He passed it straight at to Rice, and Declan Rice was able to get it away to Grealish, and then from there to safety by Pickford.
Sums up the game. He gets the ball, a real opportunity to pick out someone more on that right-hand side. Just that bit of quality. What have you got? Not enough. And that's for both teams. As we're saying, so few shots on target, so few clear-cut quality chances, so little quality play.
Yeah. So I think Gareth Southgate will praise the defending.
Yep.
That's what he'll do. He wanted a clean sheet the other night, and I think that would be the starting point, but it's been tough. This has been a tough test for England. They've not played well. Ream did well there. He was under pressure from two England players, Henderson and from Rashford, and it's found its way back to Rashford. And now England on the far side, and a foul as Henderson is sandwiched between two United States players. Clever really, won the free kick, experienced play, and it's a free kick to England out there on the far side near the halfway line.
Yeah, good feet, good skill, good knowledge. Just drew the foul from Pulisic. An opportunity. Haven't said really all game.
Free kick taken short by England down the right-hand side. It's chipped across to the back post. Moore comes across and heads it across his own penalty area and behind, and England have a late set piece in added time. 4 minutes of added time. Goodness me, is that a World Cup low at the end of the second half for Qatar?
Oh, we've had 7 subs, 30 seconds per sub, and my math suggests that doesn't leave a lot for anything else.
Corner from the right. Trippier to take this. So all eyes on, well, Harry Maguire's the obvious target. Harry Kane is complaining that he's already been pulled back. Maguire is standing just beyond the penalty spot, in between the penalty spot and the edge of the area. Trippier is about to take this. Here he is, aiming for Maguire, who heads it down, but it just bounces up goalwards, and it's easily caught by a hopping Turner above his head.
Yeah, it's just a bit too deep, too much pressure on Harry Maguire. They do suffer from set pieces, USA, but there's been so few of England for England, so little in terms of attacking threat. 2 corners all game.
So it looks like England are going to need something against Wales on Tuesday. Make a note of that in your diary. 7 o'clock GMT on Tuesday evening. Wales against England. And Wales will have to win it. For England, a draw would do. Grealish, he's lost possession. Still time to win this yet. Grealish takes it on downfield, but he is forced wide and then forced over, shoved over, pushed over for a free kick by Musa. So a free kick very similar, just a little further on actually to where Luke Shaw had one maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago. But this is a good position here for Shaw to whip it in. We've seen him do this before to really good effect.
Well, they played a short one a few moments ago, and no real England player in the middle read it, crossing it to no one. There's no such plan. Set it up, get it right, get your big men, far post. Maguire, Stones, waiting.
Yeah, Maguire just runs his fingers through his jet black hair, standing on the far side of the penalty area. He's the furthest man actually, right out on the far side, looking to make the run. Shaw has a look there, 1 foot in front of the other. White socks disappearing down his calves. Shaw has a look at the ball, has a look into the middle, still looking into the middle. And the referee has just walked all the way across to speak to Harry Maguire.
To tell him he stood in an offside position.
I think he probably knows that. Shaw, right, he's ready again. Again, we see the routine, right arm in the air. Maguire looking to make the run. Shaw plays it in, and it's headed wide! Wide by Declan Rice, I think it was, in amongst a whole group of players. Kane was in there as well, but that was not far wide. And it was the England captain who got his head to it, but wide.
Well, he's barely had an opportunity all game. 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half. It came at him in amongst bodies, in and amongst heads. Just mistimed his jump, skewed it wide off his head. That probably is 1 or 2 of England's best chances in the whole match.
Yeah, Kane with a chance very early on, which was well blocked by Zimmerman actually. Really need to give him credit for that, and that one there. So Kane yet to get off the mark, rather like the Euros last year. Didn't get into the goals, did he, until the knockout stages. England 0, USA 0. Long over the halfway line. We're in the final minute of added time now, but we've seen so many late goals. Don't go to bed just yet, as free kick is won by Giovanni Reina. So a free kick for the United States, and I make it, that is the 4 minutes up now, but there'll still be time, I would think, for the USA to take this. If they are able to get this, that would have a dramatic effect on the group. The United States would go from 1 point to 4 points into top of the table. This will probably be, as they would say stateside, the last play of the match. Pulisic to take this, rolls it down into the full-back position. They need to get it in the box. Reina plays it off Grealish. It's a throw-in. Still there's time to play. No, there's not. That's it. What a waste that was by the United States. They should have played it into the penalty area. But that's it. Honours even. It's a 0-0 draw. And that means this group is going to go down to the final night, when England will play Wales on Tuesday night to decide who goes through to the last 16. Point apiece, 0-0. Rob Green.
Really underwhelming performance, underwhelming on the ball, didn't get it right quite off the ball. What they did do, England was stay in the game, they kept a clean sheet. I think Gareth Southgate would say that's the one positive. Personally, individual performances, defensively, you'd probably say Harry Maguire was the standout player for defensive interceptions. That sums it up. It wasn't great.
No. Relatively few chances really across the 90 minutes. The United States had so much of the game in the early stages of the second half, but Jordan Pickford had relatively little to do, if we're talking about goalkeepers making saves.
No, and well, flip that round, and Matt Ryan had the one save in the first half, which was a good save from Mason Mount. And looking at it to say, well, realistically, there just wasn't the quality in the game. That maybe suited the USA, that maybe suited the way that they play, the chaotic nature of it, but even still, they couldn't find the quality. So England will pick the pieces out of this. They'll go again against Wales. It probably doesn't suit Wales at all in any shape or form, but it keeps us interested. It keeps it going to that final game.
So there we are in the group. It's 4-3-2-1 now. England 4 points, Iran 3, USA 2, Wales 1. That's the way it stands after 2 matches in Group B. And it's back down to earth for England after the sparkling record-breaking opening against Iran. Just like the Euros last year, second group match, 0-0 draw. England 0, USA 0. And here is Kelly Cates.
Loud boos at the final whistle, and it might be the only boos these England fans get this evening here in Qatar.